Welcome to another episode of our favorite new horror trailers, the best of what dropped last month. This month brings us a movie directed by a YouTuber, a movie starring a dog, another VHS film, Liam Neeson in a horror film, and much more. As always, everything we cover is linked below. Now, on with the trailers. First up is Shelby Oaks. A woman's desperate search for her long-lost sister falls into obsession upon realizing that the imaginary demon from her childhood may have been real. Shelby Oaks is directed by YouTuber Chris Stuckmann and stars Keith David, who you might remember from They Live and The Thing, and also Derek Mears, who you should all know as Jason from the 2009 Friday the 13th. Shelby Oaks releases October 2nd. One of the reasons why I am excited to see this is mainly due to the fact that this is directed by YouTuber Chris Stuckmann. I'll admit I don't follow Chris Stuckmann anymore because I kind of gave up on watching movie reviews. I used to watch a ton of movie reviewer YouTubers, and I pretty much unsubscribed from all of them because I'm just tired of watching people's reviews on things. But I don't have anything personal against Chris Stuckmann, so the fact that he's making his own film and it's a horror film, it's also executive produced by Mike Flanagan. And for me personally, the fact that Mike Flanagan has his name attached to this really makes me think that this is going to be something special. I'm almost curious if Chris Stuckmann's movie career takes off, would he abandon YouTube and just move on to making movies? I would. But this movie looks weird. This movie looks pretty freaking awesome. The movie also appears to be a little artsy. There's a lot of shots in here that are a little artsy with close-ups of trees and things of that nature. But all the imagery looks really cool. I'm really curious what this demon thing's going to be about and how everything's going to play out. But what do you guys think? What do you guys think of Chris Stuckmann making a horror movie? Do you think this looks cool? Let me know. Next up, we have Death Cycle. After the death of her sister, a woman is visited by a man looking to solve a series of murders by a motorcycle maniac. As their shared fear grows, the killer's rampage continues, leaving them both questioning who the real monster is. Death Cycle releases in 2026. One of the things that I really like about this movie is the slasher, almost giallo type style that this has going for it. I also like the fact that the Death Cycle logo looks like a black metal band or a death metal band of some kind. I love that type of artwork. This maniac motorcycle guy is wearing all black leather, black gloves. He's got a black helmet on and he's got this knife. He looks awesome. It really does remind me of some kind of slasher villain that you would see in an 80s slasher. Because of that, this trailer really drew me in. There are other parts to this trailer that make me kind of question how much this killer is really in the movie. Maybe it's just the way that the trailer is cut, who knows? But it almost makes me wonder if the slasher motorcycle maniac isn't really in the movie all that much. If that is the case, it's going to be a slight disappointment. But this movie looks cool. What do you guys think of a motorcycle maniac out there chasing people down? And what do you think of this Death Cycle logo? Do you like shit like that? Because I think it looks awesome. Next up, we have Good Boy. A loyal dog moves to a rural family home with his owner, Todd, only to discover supernatural forces lurking in the shadows. As dark entities threaten his human companion, the brave pup must fight to protect the one he loves most. Good Boy stars Indy as Indy and releases October 3rd. I love filmmaking and I love especially horror films, and I love when people do something different and out of the ordinary. Sometimes things don't really work very well, but other things are awesome, and it's just different and fresh and brings a new flavor to the horror movie genre. And that being said, this movie, Good Boy, looks to follow Indy, this dog, around, and this dog is the main character of the film. And I think that is just brilliant. This looks so cool. The fact that we're going to follow this dog around and see him interact with these dark entities. I'm kind of curious how much the human companion element is even in the movie. Is the dog going to be left alone for hours at a time, or maybe something happens to the human and the dog is left alone? And the dog in this looks so cute. It goes without saying that nothing better happened to this dog. Cannot wait to see this. Next up, we have Night of the Reaper. College student Dina visits home and is roped into babysitting. The local sheriff is mailed a piece of evidence and is led on a scavenger hunt to reveal the killer of another babysitter. Night of the Reaper releases September 19th, and I believe it's coming straight to Shudder. This movie looks really fun. The killer is obviously dressed like a Grim Reaper. He's got this black robe and a hood and this skull mask and a big old knife. Also, it looks like this movie takes place in the either late 80s or early 90s. There's this VHS element to everything. The trailer itself has little VHS static and things going on. Obviously, being old school and remembering VHS tapes when they were still a popular physical media format. I like the fact that this is part of the film and there's this VHS element and everything. I just love that. Also, it's not really shoved in your face all that much, but this looks to me like it might be a Halloween film of sorts, because in a couple of random shots, there is clearly Halloween decorations, and the one girl that works at one of the stores or whatever, she's wearing devil horns. So it's not really shoved in your face that this is a Halloween movie, but I really do feel like this movie takes place around Halloween somewhere. But what do you guys think? Do you think this looks awesome? What do you think of this guy's mask, this skull mask that he's wearing? And how much Halloween do you think is going to be in this movie? There's only really a couple of shots where I see pumpkins and some Halloween decorations hanging up. I'm hoping that there's more Halloween to this movie, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. But I cannot wait to check it out. Next, we have cold storage. When a mutating, highly contagious fungus escapes a sealed facility, two young employees, joined by a grizzled bioterror operative, must survive the wildest night shift ever to save humanity from extinction. Cold Storage stars Joe Carey, who you might know as Steve in Stranger Things, and Georgina Campbell, who you might know from Barbarian. Cold Storage also stars Liam Neeson, who needs no introduction. Cold Storage releases in 2026. So this movie looks super fun. It's definitely a horror comedy. So if you like a little comedy with your horror, this is going to be right up your alley. There's a lot of what looks like gross out type horror humor, similar to things like Drag Me to Hell and Evil Dead and that kind of stuff. I'm really starting to become a fan of Georgina Campbell. She is great in pretty much everything she does. And seeing Steve from Stranger Things branch out and do more films, I think is great. I think he's a great actor, and he's definitely has the comedic timing and all of that. And obviously, Liam Neeson is just a legend. He's a badass, but he can also be pretty funny at times. So I'm kind of curious how much humor is going to be revolving around Liam Neeson's character. Another movie that you could compare this to is sort of like Zombieland. It even says in the trailer that this is from the producers of Zombieland. This movie doesn't come out until next year, and I think they'll probably release a longer trailer that shows a little bit more. This trailer is only 1 minute and 20 seconds long. I feel like it's a little condensed, it's a little rushed, but from what I've seen, it looks super fun, and I cannot wait to check this out. But I want to know what you guys think. Do you like comedy in your horror, or is this type of horror movie just something that you pretty much avoid? I want to know. For me personally, I love all things horror. Doesn't matter what it is. So I cannot wait to check this one out. And lastly, we have VHS Halloween. A collection of Halloween-themed videotapes unleashes a series of twisted, blood-soaked tales, turning trick-or-treat into a struggle for survival. If you weren't already aware, the VHS Movies is a series of anthology films. Each movie has about 5 little short films within them, so each one is directed by a different director. Of the directors for VHS Halloween, the most notable director that I recognized is Paco Plaza, who is the director behind the original Rec and also Rec 2 and 3. VHS releases October 3rd, and I'm pretty sure it's coming straight to Shudder. It's actually kind of funny because I'm really in the midst right now of coming up with another 13 horror movies to watch for Halloween, and then I see this trailer come out. So I'm really digging through the internet trying to find good Halloween themed horror films. Then all of a sudden this trailer drops and I'm like, man, it's going to have to be on a future list of some kind if it turns out to be good enough to make it. That being said, though, for me personally, the VHS movies have always really been hit or miss, but needless to say, because of the fact that every VHS movie is about 4 to 5 little short films, there's at least always one little short in each movie that is a standout short. No matter what, though, like I said, these movies are fun, and the fact that this one is going to be all about Halloween, I think is just brilliant. They should probably consider doing VHS Christmas. But what do you guys think of the VHS movies? Do you like these things? Are you just over the found footage? If you are a fan of found footage and the VHS series, what do you think of this revolving around Halloween? Are you pumped for it like I am? Honestly, I think I'm more so pumped at the Halloween aspect than I am for the VHS series aspect. But I will definitely be checking this one out no matter what. So what do you guys think of YouTuber Chris Stuckmann's new horror film? Do you think Indy from Good Boy is going to win Best Actor this year? How much Halloween are we going to get in Night of the Reaper? Let me know in the comments. Let's chat about it. But before you go, would you kindly subscribe and maybe even slash that like button while you're there. Until next time.